Good morning from Los Angeles. Welcome to Trading with Sergio, Wednesday, March 4th. Exciting couple days, a lot of action. I haven't done too much trading. I actually, for a long time, I hadn't done any day trading, but yesterday I day traded some zero DTEs successfully, I might add. But other than that, just holding pattern, waiting for things to clear up. But as the title of today's live stream indicates, um, market's very resilient. Market just does not want to go below those two levels that I talked about, as the market is stuck between 697 and 670 on the SPY, and we're right back into the middle of the range. And um, I mean, at some point, this is going to clear itself out because we can't go sideways. I mean, we have for 2 months. I probably would have said the same thing a month ago. But whenever the breakout or the breakdown happens, it's going to be a violent move. VIX has been moving up, so be careful with implied volatility, obviously. But if you're trading options specifically, and pretty quiet day. It's a mixed bag. A lot of stocks. Rotation is still continuing. I put a good video out yesterday about rotation. Anything and everything to do with higher gas and oil prices is getting not punished. It got punished last couple of days, but and anything retail related, because higher gas prices already are showing up all over the country to the tune of 60, 70 cents a gallon immediately. That's funny how that goes, right? When oil prices shoot up, gas prices immediately get spiked, and then when oil prices come down, gas prices come down a nickel at a time, but they shoot up 50 cents at a time. So that's typical. And yeah, as stretched as the consumer is, obviously higher gas prices are not a good thing. And as long as the military action continues in over Iran, over the skies of Iran, I don't know if there's going to be a planned um, uh, ground action in Iran. I hope not, because I think that's going to create a bigger mess. But and also, I'm not sure. Uh, we can just keep bombing these people to oblivion. And expect a regime change, right? I mean, as much as I understand what's going on, and I support our military for what they're doing, the problem is Iran is a big country of close to 100 million people, and if you want to win their hearts and create a regime change, it has to come from within. It can't be just U.S. and Israel bombing, every target that they see. I do understand the purpose of it, but at some point, um, we'll have to just kind of say, okay, I'm pretty sure we'll have an idea of who the new leader of Iran is going to be. Obviously, the mullahs are getting eradicated, and but are we going to create a vacuum, right? Leadership vacuum, and that's never a good thing. The vacuum that we created in other countries, such as Syria, such as Libya, such as Iraq, has been problematic for the average folk in those countries, right? And you go talk to them, and are their lives better than it was under these dictators or under these mullahs? We're going to find out. But that's the geopolitical part of the show. So let's go with the schedule. Every Monday, Wednesday, Trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Every Friday, Power Hour with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. This is going to go on until the end of the first quarter, which is the end of this month. And then we may be creating some changes, actually. I may actually finally have a Discord channel at some point, but we'll see how that's going to work out. I'll go through the charts. The one thing that's happening today that's very, very noticeable and eye-catching is crypto. Crypto having a very decent rally on all of them, obviously, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I DCA'd Bitcoin again on Monday. I've been DCAing for the last year, starting DCAing mean dollar cost averaging, starting with January 2025. My original purchase on Bitcoin was in 2020, and I hadn't done anything, and then I started doing again the same dollar amount every Monday. I buy BTC, and we'll see where that's going to end up. I still think the thesis is correct that the U.S. government, especially now with the war, God knows in the last 3 days how much money we spent on this, and this money has to come from somewhere, and our fiscal policy has not been fixed, right? It's a broken fiscal policy, and broken monetary policy follows that. Talking about monetary policy, Trump finally did appoint Hessent, I think his name, for the new Fed chair. As we know, Jay Powell, after years of being the Fed chair, I think 8 years, he's leaving, or 6 years, he's leaving his post. And I think that's going to be in May, the transition in May. But then already the new Fed chair has been appointed. I think the new Fed chair is going to work with the White House. The White House is going to run interest rate policy, it looks like to me, as opposed to Fed being an independent body. But we'll find out when we get there. Please put your questions in the chat. And if anybody wants to come on, it's going to be a short live today because I have so much going on. But we'll go through some crypto, and I have some BMNU positions, which is the 2x ETF of BMNR. Again, one thing also very noticeable today is Robinhood. Hood is up nicely. It is it's become a proxy of crypto, actually, which is kind of interesting to me, because only 20% of their revenue comes from crypto trading. But don't question the markets, right? If Hood is moving up and down with Bitcoin, just follow Bitcoin, and then Hood, you'll kind of figure out the next move in Hood. Although still down close to 50% from its all-time high. Is it a bottom? We'll find out. But crypto, and actually specifically Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Robinhood charts look very, very, very similar to me. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. As far as positions, I didn't add much, although I'm trying to sell some put credit spreads on stocks that I think are pretty close to a bottom after what happened last couple of days. I'll put those up as well. In fact, I may do a couple of trades while we're doing this. I already put some orders in. We'll see if they get executed or not. What else? That's about it, folks. Let's go to the markets. This morning we opened kind of flat and then took off. Again, the trading range continues. Put myself there. You guys can see that, hopefully. So this is SPY, right? This is 2-minute chart of S&P 500. But if we look at the daily, this is 1 year, 1 day. Let me go to the big charts, so it's clear for everyone. Oh, there we go. We kind of tested the low end of that range, which was 670 yesterday, and here's 670. And Bollinger Bands that I do have on my charts are as flat and narrow as I've seen last 3 years, and it's continuing. The only thing that I'm kind of looking at is there could be a potential cross of the 20 over the 50. Those are the two I watch. There's also the 200 EMA on my chart. MACD is as flat as it could be. It's just going over and under the zero line. At some point, the decisive move is going to take place, and the market's going to move appreciably higher or lower. And that's technical analysis, obviously. The next support level, if that were to happen, I think is at the 200 EMA on the SPY, which is about 655. And we're just stuck. We just can't go anywhere. The reason for that, I did a bunch of videos about that, is because the MAG 7 is stuck. If the MAG 7 is not moving, right? SPY does not move, although MAG 7 actually has sold off pretty hard over the last couple of months, and the SPY is still holding, is because the rest of the stocks finally decided to move. That's why IWM, Russell 2000, is outperforming the S&P 500. That's IWM. And here's triple Q, same thing, right? We're finding support and rallying. We tested the lows yesterday and we're bouncing today. And as far as the specific Max 7s go, Apple is not doing much. It's again sideways. NVIDIA, obviously, look at this, right? Just sideways. Sideways actually since last July. NVIDIA is the same price as it was last July. That's like 6 months ago or more, right? 7 months ago. Microsoft is the weakest of the Max 7, although it's rallying a little bit today, rallying into resistance. High 550, low 380. That's a big move for a big company, right? Same thing with Amazon. Sideways, just sideways, folks. Not much is going on. And same thing with Google. Google topped at 350, but it's just kind of finding its footing right around 300. Again, sideways. That's why the markets are going sideways. And as long as, I mean, this will resolve itself at some point to the upside or to the downside. And you have to listen to the markets, right? You can have your opinions about it, but you better listen to it. And Tesla, kind of same thing. It just found a footing, trying to find its footing right about the 200 EMA. A couple times it tested. You know, it's down about $100 from its 52-week high. So yeah, that's what's going on. And I'm one thing, like I said today, is crypto, IBIT, which is the iShares Bitcoin ETF, the largest one out there. Bitcoin is up about 7.5%. And are we going to break out here? Well, from the short term look of it, we kind of went sideways between 60 and 68,000, and then now we're just going above it. We're about 73,000. Resistance at 50 EMA coming up, which is probably right about 77,000. And then next resistance about 82,000, and then next resistance is about 90,000. So we'll see. We'll see where it's going to go. But still, for me, it's in a downtrend because we did something like that before right here. And it resolved itself with a massive down leg on super high volume. So we'll see where Bitcoin is going to end up. Ethereum, same thing. This is the largest Ethereum iShares ETF. Same thing, just going sideways. It's kind of going above the 20 EMA, which is decent. MACD is still under zero. It's been under zero since actually ETH was at 4,100 range, and still there. And is this part of the sideways action? Is this part of the bottoming process? It looks like to me, but a lot of people are stuck in BMNR. So hopefully, you know, it's just flat as a pancake, right? Not much is going to happen on BMNR as long as Ethereum doesn't move up. As far as what else is going on? As far as AI, for example, some of these AI power generation stocks are moving today, such as IREN. But again, it's like, you know, they're way off from their highs. And there's just kind of basing action, or it's going sideways before a drop. But we will have to patiently wait for these things to resolve themselves. Same thing is happening with CIFR, sideways, right? And when they resolve upside to the downside, I'll definitely will be participating in there. A couple of things I'm trying to do. I'll just go to the positions in a minute and show you guys. And so earnings season is over with everything pretty much S&P 500, and the earnings were good. That's why the market's being held up. S&P 500 at 685.83 is supposed to, the earnings are supposed to be about $275 a share. And a lot of companies beat, although there has been a massive pullback on companies. Literally a repricing of these stocks, high growth stocks, high beta, high PE stocks got repriced to the tune of 50, 60, 70% in a lot of cases. And Robinhood was one of those. And today You know, I mean, literally the Robinhood chart looks exactly like the Bitcoin chart. So, and here's Bitcoin. I mean, how similar are they? You guys see it? I mean, identical almost. And Hood topped exactly when Bitcoin topped, and Hood is bottoming or trying to bottom when Bitcoin is bottoming or trying to bottom. Again, MACD under zero, crossed under when Bitcoin went under. So if it's going to be if it's, you know, it's going to be a proxy, you know, the other proxy is obviously MicroStrategy or strategy. It's up a little bit today, and it's up 10% actually, but that thing went from 457 down to almost 100. You know, that there's MNAV compression going on there. That's a different story altogether. My favorite in that group is SBET, but again, right, suffered with the downside of Ethereum, and we'll see where that's going to go. I don't have a position in any of these. I have a position in BMNU, which I had started months ago with a covered strangle. I got assigned. I've been selling calls and puts successfully, lowering my cost basis. So it's all good there. Let's look at the precious metals. Here's silver. Silver looks like it's going to be in a wide trading range. And after that massive sell-off that we experienced, after it had gone parabolic, now it looks like it's going sideways. I am long with a covered strangle on ZSL, which is the 2x ETF, inverse ETF of silver. I'm kind of short, let's say. And gold, same thing. I think we're just going to go sideways, digest all this move before we go anywhere. And but there's going to be many trading opportunities, folks. The range looks very, very wide to me. So I think there's going to be plenty of trading opportunities in gold and silver, but you just got to be patient. So it looks like yesterday we may have found our second top after the parabolic increase and crash, literally, on gold and silver, which was over 2 days. And same thing is happening in silver, right? So we topped. This is SLV, iShares Silver ETF. Yesterday, a couple days ago, it looked like we found our top. So if that's the top of the range, so this is on SLV, not the spot silver. So don't confuse the two. They're not the same price. So on SLV, the top looked like 85. The low looks like 65. That's 20 points. That's 30% range. I think that's a very tradable situation. And yeah, you just, and if you don't want to trade these, you can trade obviously NUGT, which is the Daily Gold Miners 2x ETF. That's wild, right? I mean, look at some of these price moves. From 318, it sold off to 203. And then day before yesterday, we hit 320 from 203. I mean, if that's not a trading range and wild enough for you guys, then I don't know what's going to satisfy you. Last but not least, let's look at TLT. Oh, I'm just selling some vertical puts, or let's say put credit spreads on DOCN. We'll take a look at it. Here's TLT. TLT is the iShares 20-year bond inverse ETF. So if TLT is going up, actual interest rates are coming down. If TLT is going down or down, interest rates are going up. So last few days, interest rates have been going up with what's going on in Iran, obviously. And last but not least, let's look at VIX. VIX moved up to, VIX is the volatility index. VIX moved up to close to 30, about 27 yesterday. Today we're selling off. So as you guys know, VIX is an inverse indicator as well. If VIX is going up, that means market's getting hammered. If VIX is going down, that means market's stable to higher. And today we're higher. So, that's about it. So let me take a look at DOCN, which I just sold, put credit spreads on. Actually, I would like to sell some more of those at a couple of bucks if we get there. So this is DOCN, Digital Ocean. I'm selling 52.5, 47.5 put credit spread for March. I just started selling it, and the next one I'm going to sell put credit spreads on is going to be BWA, Borg Warner, and we're right at the 50 EMA. Probably right about the same thing. I'll probably do that to 52.5, 47.5 there. In fact, and these are Marches, by the way. Yeah, they're not there yet. 52.5, 47.5 are not worth much yet. And if I go to the 55s, my short leg in the money, I don't like doing put credit spreads when my short leg is in the money already. But on DOCN, okay, 53, what do we do? Oh, they have marches. They have weeklies. Okay, I didn't have to go that far. Oopsie. Regular expiration March is coming around though, so let me take a look at next week's 52. Oh, there's every dollars. Okay, all right, that's fine. 52, 47. No, I'm doing the right thing. Let's go to regulars, 52 and a half, 47 and a half, 165. I just did it at 175. What do you mean 165? No, I'll do some more at 2. I'll do some more at 2.5. We'll wait. No rush. So that's DOCN. Great earnings, by the way. It's a little high PE stock, but not as high as some of the other ones. I'm very interested in doing the same thing on Love, Southwest Airlines, right at the 15 MA. But then I want this Iran thing to clear and oil start to come down. These stocks are going to get a major push. Same thing on some stocks like Dollar Tree and AEO, because retail is getting affected with higher oil prices. Obviously, they're getting repriced here. But, you know, I have a bunch of stocks in my 52-week high list that have pulled back enough, pulled back enough for me to take a look. Another one is Lear, you know, closing the gap. You got to be patient with these folks. But first selling put credit spreads, and if I do see an upside move, then I'll add the call debit spreads or calls. Create like some sort of a synthetic actually. And another one, I actually decided to add a 6th stock to my long-term port. Some of you who have been following me already know I have 5 stocks now. I have Google, I have UPS. Actually, UPS may be also a decent trade here. Yep, that's pulling back to the 50 MA. I have Google at 152. I have UPS at 96. I have Lululemon at 182. That's the only loser at the moment. Stock is 172. I have Kava at 59. It's a 78. Had a big move after earnings. And I added Netflix. I got assigned Netflix actually 2 weeks ago before this big move. And I actually have a chat group. I told my group, I go, if they walk away from this Warner Brothers deal, it's $100 stock. Well, sure enough, we're at almost 100. We're right into resistance 99. I may sell some calls on that. On my long-term port, I don't trade. I just buy the shares. I don't sell covered calls, do anything. But the 6th stock I decided to add, but it's rallying a little bit today, is Novo Nordisk. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's at 38. Okay. Yesterday it got as low as 35. I was going to sell some May 35 puts. I want to own it about 32 range, but you got to be patient again with these. That stock has been in its own world of hurt. And that's going to be the 6th stock that I add to my long-term port. And that's that. And as far as short-term port, I have some put credit spreads and calls on AD&T up to 30, ASST. I have some leads, BMNU, all the highlight. I post these positions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the community page of the YouTube channel. I was long Galaxy calls. I just got out of those. Okay, that was a loss, actually. I am long some calls on TSLL and short some put credit spreads. And we'll see where that goes. And ZSL. I'm long 2,500 shares. I was long 2,500 at a 10-for-1 reverse split. Now I'm only long 250 shares. But I'm also, you know, this month it'll resolve itself somehow. But stock is right. So I did the 2 covered strangle at 65 cents. Last month I did it at 96 cents. So folks, you have to understand something. It's a $2 stock. It was a $2 stock. Now it's a $20 stock because of a 10-for-1 reverse split. And we're at 20. So last month I had the 2-3 strangle. This month I have the 2-2 strangle. So on a $2 stock, last 2 months I took in 96 cents and 65 cents already. So what is that? I don't know, $1.70. Cost basis is almost 0 now. So that's working out just fine. BMNU, I have the $2 calls going out to March. I sold them at 51 cents. We'll see where that's going to end up. DOCN we just did, so we'll open that up here. Okay, we just sold to put credit spreads there. Started with 5. I usually my go-to is 5 lots at a time, so I will add to it on the way up, and I will add to it on the way down. These are March 20th, so those are the positions. Highlight that one. So whatever I have highlighted are open positions, and I'll post these on the community page of the YouTube channel today after the close. All right, let's go to the front. Let's see if we can enter some questions and say goodbye. All right, so good morning, Mike. Good morning, Traveler. Good morning, Gilberto. Good morning, John Young. Nectar doing well. Yeah, it's a nice chart. I don't mess too much with biotech stocks, man. John Young, Armenian. Yes, I am Armenian, as my last name indicates. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, you. Okay, this is one of my members of the chat group. So I do have a chat group, a Telegram chat group. If you're interested in joining, go ahead and click join. Send me an email, Sergio@sergioavadian.com. Bunch of active traders, although we may be doing some changes there as well. And so actually today is their live stream. I do a members only live stream for them once a month, once a week, once a week, every Wednesday or Thursday. So Mike here has like hundreds of positions at the same time, which I don't know how he does it, but I'm not going to mess around with any of that stuff because I don't have the time, or I don't think that's the right way to do things, but to each their own. Yeah, BW is having a big update today. I saw that up like 20%. Invest in Chipotle? No, I disagree with that. Although that stock looks like it has bottomed. I'm invested in my long-term port in Kava. I invested in Kava about 3 years ago. First time I went and ate there. See, this is the other thing is, please put a thumbs up. But number 2, go subscribe to my free newsletter on my website, sergioavadian.com. It's free. You get it every Monday. And there was an article we just put out a couple of weeks ago, and it says invest in companies that you deal with on a daily basis, like Costco, like Kava, like Chipotle. They're all public companies, right? You understand the business. So first time about 3 years ago, I went there for lunch with my wife, and then there were lines out the door. So while I'm eating, I was like, I wonder if this thing is public. If it's public, I'm going to buy it. See how simple analysis is, right? You don't have to get into all this cash flow, this, that kind of thing. Sure enough, I looked at it while I'm eating. I bought the stock right there at 32, 31, 32 range. Rode it all the way to 90 in less than a year. And then by the time the year was out, it was about 110. Then I go 1 year, 1 day, favorable tax treatment. I sold it. And then after that, it went to 175. Obviously, it got too expensive. And after I sold it, it went up another $60. But that's like 3.5x. I'm going to take that. And then I waited and waited and waited and waited. It went from 175 all the way down to 43. And then I started selling some puts, and then I got assigned, and my cost basis is 59. And now we're back to almost 80. So I got back in. So what I'm trying to say is that patience is important. And on Chipotle, I think Kava is a little bit different version. Chipotle actually had bad earnings, and then stock opened down 8 points. And then that's how you guys understand how stocks are bottoming, by the way. Like if you look at Chipotle stock, let's take a look. I mean, Chipotle CMG. That stock has been in its own bear market for a while. So here's CMG. And this is the daily chart of CMG, and this was the earnings right here. And let's look at the 3-year. So Chipotle has been in a bear market of its own. It topped about 70, got cut in half, more than that. This was the last in earnings, and here was the last earnings report. It opened down literally from like 40 down to like 35, and then it bounced right back the same day, close unchanged. So, but it's still in a downtrend. So I don't want to mess with it. And this is Kava. This is the difference between Kava. This was the time right here. Actually, October, November of 2023, I bought the stock. I wrote it to about right about here, about 100, and then I sold it, and then after that it went to 172, and then all the way 172 down to 44. So if you're holding, actually, if you're holding Kava, after the earnings, guidance was really good, and then it's still growing company. Stock bounced like 30% in one day, and I was long, luckily, and I'm still long. I have a full position, so there's the difference between Kava and Chipotle. I mean, stocks are to be bought and sold, folks. I don't know. Everybody has a different opinion about these things, but very few stocks are generational buy and hold type of stocks. Here's Kava, and here's Chipotle. Which one would you own? I don't know. I mean, is Chipotle going to have a comeback? They've been struggling with the Gen Zers, obviously. And, 58 down to 30 or 60 down to 30 in a short period of time, like matter of 4 months. Within two earnings reports, look at these two gap downs, right? Bad earnings. Well, this was the last quarter. Earnings were actually not good. They were as expected, but then stocks sold off and bounced back. So when stocks do that, all the bad news is out of it, and market's anticipating something different. And my pick is Kava when it comes to that casual stuff. But if you look at other ones, such as McDonald's, I think that's making a 52-week high. Look at the difference in McDonald's and Kava and Chipotle, right? So to me, right, let the market tell you, as opposed to you guessing some stuff. That's my point in all of this. Investing is really not that difficult. Yeah. Okay. So if there's no more questions, I'm going to say goodbye because I have to go to so much stuff today. Market's resiliency is continuing. Still in that trading range. I don't know, at some point we're going to break out or break down. And until that happens, although underneath the surface, a lot of things are moving sharply, obviously. And again, it's not a stock market. It's a market of stocks. Stocks move differently. Every stock has its own kind of patterns, and you need to pay attention to it. Like if you were because the market's going making all-time highs or very close to it. If you were in Hood, you got cut in half. If you were in HIMS, you got cut by 75%. A lot of stocks are doing what they do under the surface. They're just moving, right, wildly, and which it's supposed to do. In stocks, that's what stocks do. They go up, they go down. But if you just looked at the market or the index itself, you wouldn't think these stocks would be moving 50% up or down. Well, they do. So it's not a stock market. It's a market of stocks. Always pay attention to that. Always pay attention to what the stock is telling you, what the market is telling you. The general market, the indexes are telling you there is an indecision pattern going on here, but under the surface, a lot of stocks are moving and telling you a different story. So for me, that's the important thing. Listen to the market, trade what's in front of you. None of us are going to be right all the time, and you step up and do things like I did. Sell some put credit spread on DOCN because I think somewhere in here we're at the bottom. And why did I sell a put credit spread? Is because of limited downside. I know exactly how much I can lose when I do the trade, as opposed to being naked puts. There is a time for everything. My goal is to inform and educate and give you all the tools for success. And because on some cases, a strangle may be the right thing to do. On some cases, an iron condor. On some cases, maybe put credit spread. On some cases, maybe just buying the outright stock. On some cases, do a directional bet with some calls or call debit spreads or whatever. But once you have all the tools, basically don't be a one-trick pony. Being a one-trick pony is not going to get you anywhere because the market, if you don't have the tools to respond to market action, you're just going to either lose money, blow an account, or be left out. And you're going to be stuck in a stock that you're holding for 6 months, and so you're bleeding with it. and you're losing opportunity cost because the world is going by you. There's so many things happening, right, through rotation and things like that. So that's what I'm trying to teach here and inform and educate, and hopefully I'm doing a decent job at it. And yeah, I just trade what's in front of me. I wait patiently. If it gets to where I need to take action, I already know what I'm doing before I do it. That's why the 3 Ps are important: patience, position size, and planning. And you patiently wait, like I did with Kava, like I did with Netflix. I mean, that got cut in half. I waited and waited and waited and waited, and finally sold some puts and got assigned, and now reaping the benefits. You just have to wait. There isn't, FOMO should not be part of your vocabulary. FOMO, YOLO, any of that stuff should not be your vocabulary, right? You're not going to be successful doing any of that stuff. And again, we all have different opinions. Our opinions are valid as anybody else's, but the market is not going to listen to you, right? Hope and pray stage, which a lot of people get into after holding the bag on something for a long time. And it's pretty obvious, a lot of people complain, oh, I sold it and then it went right back up. I'm like, yeah, because you were in the hope and pray stage. You finally got disgusted and got rid of a losing position and it turned. It happened. I hear that more often than anything else. That's because you shouldn't have been in it to start with, right? And once you get in the hope and pray stage, there's nobody coming to save you, right? So maybe you should cut the losses way before. Learn how to take the L. If anybody says they're always right, they're lying to you. Run the other direction. And I certainly am not always right, but I don't have to be always right. All I have to do is just manage risk and manage money, manage my loss size and manage my gain size. I could have 50-50 year and double my account every year. That's because you take the losses when you need to, and then you take the gains when you need to. But, different philosophy. And a necessary philosophy, though, I must admit. So, yeah, that's where we are. And last but not least, any more questions? No. All right. See you guys on Friday, Power Hour. Hopefully, I'll be able to do this a little bit longer on Friday. And then again, check out the Telegram chat group, the membership group. Click join. Send me an email. Sergio at sergioavidian.com. I'll send you the Telegram chat group link. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. There's good content on it. And more importantly, I'm trying to improve financial literacy in this country. And I just started a website about 2-3 months ago. Please go subscribe to the free newsletter. You'll get it every Monday at noon Pacific. It's not purely for trading. It's mostly for financial literacy, because I think financial literacy is in the toilet and needs a lot of help in this country. And, trading is fun, but we need to invest. We need to understand how to invest, and it's not that difficult these days. So with that said, Mike squeezed the last comment in here. My long puts are always right. Sure, Mike. Whatever you say, buddy. Okay. Now Doug squeezed a comment just when I'm going to leave. KNX doing well. Wondering if you have any insight as to why it's a U.S. trucking firm. I have no idea. I just look at my 52-week list, man. I don't pay attention to it. Any position for BE? No. Overpriced stock. Okay, I'll just go on. Do you guys a favor because you're members. Otherwise, I would have left. No. BW, I know, is doing well today. Beautiful chart. Go with the chart, my man. BE. Sideways indecision pattern. No. When it breaks out, maybe. But I would prefer probably to go short BE. I heard it here first. And... we're hugging the 50 EMA on the way up. We're just kind of going sideways, no resolution to the pattern. Big trading range between 130 and 180, whichever way it goes. MACD is also on a very bearish divergence signal here, so I wouldn't be too bullish on BE, my opinion again. And then KNX, was it KNX? I don't know, I forgot. That's how bad I am with symbols. Yeah, Night Swift. Yeah, beautiful chart. 52-week high. Yeah. You could have been selling cash-secured puts or puts on this one for the last month and month and month and month for a year almost, and they would have all expired worthless on you. So yeah, you're on the right path on that one, Doug. So there you go. I answered my questions. I did my obligations. Mike, you can put this on all the chat, bro. PDS on BE. No, I'd rather call credit spreads on BE, actually. But debit spread, I don't know. Debit spreads are very difficult to if you pay out of pocket with those. But I mean, it's going sideways. It's in a trading range. Once it resolves the trading range, then you go. At the moment, you're guessing. If you're buyer at 130 and seller at 180, in the 50 range, fine. It's going sideways. So you're welcome. But yeah, you don't have to have an opinion, Doug. Look at the chart. Don't read too much into fundamentals, man. Just look at the chart. Chart's telling you a story. The story is I'm doing great as a company. I'm going from the lower left to the upper right. I'm doing really well, Doug, as a company. And that's what the chart's telling you. Obviously, there's good news. Obviously, there's good earnings. Obviously, there's good cash flow. Obviously, all the fundamentals are there. A lot of people see, I'm just getting stuck here now. 2 minutes. A lot of people have these opinions about stocks, right? It's cheap here. It's this, that, it's that. First of all, look at the picture. Picture tells you 1,000 words. If you look at a picture of HIMS, do you think that company is doing well? Do you think it's all the earnings are great, everything is great with that company? Obviously not. I've never seen a stock or a chart of a company that is going from the upper left to the lower right, and it's all good news. However, what will happen is that with no good news, stocks will start coming off a base. That's when you need to pay attention to it, because market's always 6 months ahead on good news and bad news. Market will move the stock higher, and then the good news will catch up. And then they'll move it to the next leg. Good news will catch up. Same thing happens on the way down. Market will sell off a stock with no news whatsoever. That's called distribution. And then the bad news will catch up. Always listen to the market. The price is about 6 months ahead of the good news or bad news. So with that said, it's not that difficult. Don't make your life so difficult reading news. The news you're reading as a public information, every analyst has 10x more news than you. They're 10x smarter than you, education and everything else. They have more compute power than you. And you're thinking, sitting there, mental masturbating, saying, oh, SoFi is cheap here because of this. Oh, tell me something I don't know. That's like a weeks ago news, right? People just create these biases for themselves with the stuff they read in the public. Look at the price. The price is telling you. If the price is going higher, it's good stuff is happening with the company. If the price is going lower, bad stuff is happening with the company, and you don't need the reasons for that, right? You can come up with a million reasons why something should be higher and something should be lower. But then there's a price right in front of you. It's disagreeing with you. It says, no, this is the price, bro. This is the price. You can buy all you want. If you think it's cheap, you can buy all you want. But if a stock is going from the upper left to the lower right, you're going to be in a world of hurt for a long, long, long time, right? And to me, it's like, pay attention to the market. Listen to the market. Market's telling you something, right? And the same thing happens from the lower left to the upper right. Market's telling you something. There's money coming in. There's commitment coming in. And you just need to listen to the market. That's all there is to it. And sometimes within a market, within a trend is your friend. Within a trend, there are pullbacks, and you take advantage of those trends. And you create some structure, you structure some trades, and you put them on. That's it. You don't have to be just a stock jockey and be in 50 things all at once and start thinking about this, thinking about that. But ultimately, last but not least, a lot of people who are stuck now in these high beta, high PE, so-called growth names, very expensive, right? They got all punished. All those stocks got cut in half or more with no bad news, right? The Wall Street decided those PEs are too high. We're paying too much of a premium. We need to bring them to earth. Okay, same thing happening with like software stocks, right? My goal is to make you guys understand that Wall Street thinks very differently than you guys. And all you do is create biases. Oh, it's cheap here. How do you know it's cheap? How do you know? Okay, people go, PayPal's cheap here. Cheap compared to last year. But why is it cheap? Like do you know something that I don't know? Do you know something that the market doesn't know? Market says PayPal is worth 47. It was worth 400 or 300. Why is it down 80%? Because there has not been any good news. It was a growth stock and growth died. And then same thing with, for example, Kava that I got back in. It goes from 30 to 170. Okay, and then it gets cut from 170 to 45. Why? You just follow it. Follow the trend. The news will come with the trend later. But don't like create these biases and opinions that something is worth this. Okay, then go buy it. Go buy 1 billion shares. Let's see if you can move it an eighth or 10 cents. It's not going to move because there's plenty of sellers who have a diametrically opposed opinion of you. You think it's cheap here. Somebody thinks it's expensive because that's why they're selling it to you. They think it's going lower. You think it's going higher. That's how we make a market. And that's why a market's fascinating. I love it. But I prefer to go with a trend. Okay? And up or down, whatever. So it doesn't have to be one way. So with that said, I'm going to take off, go have a cup of coffee, and jump to my other call at 11. I have to be sharp for that one. I appreciate you guys joining. Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Power Hour with Sergio. Hope you have a good trading day. And we'll see you guys on Friday.